So JuJu Watkins has had an incredible end to the college season. JuJu's actually she's been exceptional. I'm being honest here, she's been really good. She stepped up in a lot of the big games. Obviously, she stepped up big time against UConn. She stepped up big time against both times against UCLA, especially the first time. Jesus, she was quite easily the best player on the floor that day. But the thing with JuJu Watkins is she's been extremely inconsistent. But again, I think that the National Player of the Year is a really close one. I think it's really close between Tania Latson. I said it yesterday, and I was like, I think it's really close between Tania Latson. I think it's close between Hannah Hidalgo and JuJu Watkins. I think it's Tania Latson. And the amount of responses from people are like, how can it be Tania Latson? Her team isn't as good as, or doesn't have as good a record as JuJu Watkins. And I'm like, well, like, it is not National Team of the Year. The National Team of the Year is going to be the one seeds, and the National Team of the Year is going to win the championship. Like, that's like arguing and saying Camila Cardoso was Player of the Year last year because South Carolina had a better record than Iowa. But yeah, so with JuJu Watkins, she won unanimous National Player of the Year by The Athletic. Unanimous. How the hell did JuJu Watkins win unanimous? How was it unanimous? Like, what? Hidalgo played against, Hidalgo played against JuJu. Hidalgo outplayed her. So, like, their stats are identical. In their matchups against each other, JuJu Watkins was completely outplayed by Hannah Hidalgo. And Hannah Hidalgo was leading the race the entire year and had a little bit of a slump to end the year. But there was nothing about the sophomore slump from JuJu Watkins, where the fact is that she has not shot, I'm pretty sure, since like the 13th of January, she's not shot above 50% from the field in a game. In a game! Like, JuJu had that slump, and I know they were winning games, but she had that slump where she played against Iowa, 8 for 22. She literally went on a, what was it? How many game streak? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game streak, where she goes 6 of 16, 6 of 15, 7 of 24, 8 of 22, 4 of 11, 5 of 21. She went on that slump, and no one cared. And then, in fairness, she jumped out of that slump by having an unbelievable game against UCLA. But it's like, for me, I think you can argue either way. Yes, Hidalgo did not peak at the right time. Hidalgo went through her slump in the last 5 games. And in fairness to JuJu Watkins, even though those last 6 games, unbelievable, 12, 26, 10, 22, but 6 of 16, 5 of 14, not ideal games. And her team just really stepped up. But unanimous? Unanimous. And again, like, I have no issue with JuJu Watkins winning Player of the Year. She's probably going to win it. I've got no problem with that. But unanimous. Lauren Betts and Hannah Hidalgo were 1-2 a week ago. And yes, JuJu Watkins, with those 2 wins, and Lauren Betts' team nearly losing to Iowa and them peaking at the wrong time and stuff, fair enough, taking Lauren Betts out of the conversation. But unanimous. What are we doing? Hidalgo outplayed her in all the top contenders, including her, while JuJu had big stats in UCLA and stat banks unranked teams. I don't care about that. JuJu Watkins was exceptional this year. Like, I have no issue. If she goes and wins Player of the Year, fair. Her first National Player of the Year doesn't feel like it'll be lost. It won't be. But, like, no one at The Athletic gave Hannah Hidalgo a vote, which in itself is laughable, as inconsistent as JuJu was. Let's hope it isn't repeated because Hidalgo's Player of the Year. I actually don't know if I agree with that. I genuinely don't know if I agree with that. But it's so close. Like, I have never seen a Player of the Year race where the player who was not winning until 1 game to go, until that last, with 2 games to go, until Notre Dame screwed up and lost those 2 games in a row, a not terrible one against NC State, but a bad one against Florida State, until they lost those 2 games in a row, which was last weekend. Until a week ago, Hidalgo was the runaway Player of the Year. And I understand she had a bad couple of games, so fair enough if that makes her no longer player of the year because JuJu ended well. But unanimous. 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 What are we doing here? What are we doing here? We've got what might be a race where most people had Hidalgo at number 1 until 2 days ago. She goes and wins it unanimously. Unanimous. Unanimous. But yeah, that's just women's basketball, isn't it? That's just women's basketball now, where it's like, you know, JuJu Watkins, because her name is JuJu Watkins, and she probably won player of the year by this much, it has to be unanimous, because if you don't vote for JuJu Watkins, I don't know, maybe you're a hater. Like, we saw it with Angel Wilson. If you even suggested, the team started off 6-6, and if you even, I got killed for suggesting that if they remain 500, Nafisa Collier could win the MVP if the Lynx are a top 2 seed, and I got killed for it because, you know, age is unanimous, and anyone who doesn't vote Angel Wilson doesn't know basketball. Like, yeah, it's a mad one. It is a mad one. But, like, I actually can't believe it. And again, I'm not saying it's not well deserved for JuJu Watkins. I actually don't. Like, I don't think that she shouldn't have won it. But the fact it's unanimous means that, yeah, these people aren't watching the sport. They're not watching the sport because this is JuJu Watkins and Hannah Hidalgo have basically identical stats. Hidalgo shoots a better percentage. Yes, USC had a better record than Notre Dame did, but Notre Dame beat USC, which does help. They're one of the teams that beat USC. And both Notre Dame and USC had one bad loss. Like, Notre Dame and USC both beat UConn. They both beat a lot of the top teams. And ironically, when they played against each other, she got locked down. She was terrible against Notre Dame. Like, she started, and against Iowa as well. Like, there was stat padding when the game was over. But again, I haven't watched it enough. Like, I've watched enough of Notre Dame, but, like, I haven't watched enough of Notre Dame's blowouts to know whether or not they've done that. Whether or not Hidalgo does that, so I'm not going to use that against her. But it's just such a shocking one because anyone who's watched both of these players play this season knows it's neck and neck. They know it's absolutely neck and neck between JuJu Watkins and Hannah Hidalgo for that player of the year. They know that it's like, they know that it's a race. And if she wins all the awards unanimously, and I'm not sure if their voting comes in, like, that's so crazy. That is so crazy. Like, and Hannah Hidalgo, I'll talk a little bit about it as well. Like, Hannah Hidalgo is not happy with it. Like, Hannah Hidalgo is not happy at all about this herself. And yeah, it's just an annoying one. It's an annoying one seeing it because we've come off the, if you don't vote for Angel Wilson, there's something wrong with you. Or you're not credible if she was unanimous MVP before the season started. And now I'm like, you've got unanimous player of the year for a person who maybe was player of the year. Either way though, that's just me making a video ranting about the unanimous fact. JuJu Watkins has been incredible this year, without question. Without question, all American first team. And let's be real, they're not going to give it to Latson because she's not a big enough name and her team didn't win enough games. Whereas at least for Hidalgo, there was, like, the Notre Dame might end up still being a 1 seed. Worst case scenario, they're a 2 seed. But yeah, I think, I don't know. It's like, imagine if LeBron James is suddenly entering the MVP conversations. Like, it is now LeBron, like, it is now between, like, Shea and Jokic are close, and LeBron is now, like, coming, like if the Lakers somehow finish the second seed, like it's getting closer and closer that LeBron's going to enter that top 3. It would be like if LeBron somehow gets into the top 3 for MVP, or he ends up getting into the Lakers end up as a second seed, the Thunder struggle, and suddenly LeBron wins unanimous MVP. Like, it would be like something like that happening. But anyway, I'll see you guys.